Seeing this is like looking at something from the darkest depths of hell. It turns out Harry and Meghan are even more haughty, resentful, and vicious than we assumed. A hearty welcome to the UK Royal News Trend channel on YouTube. When the first episode of the Netflix documentary Harry and Meghan dropped last week, I expressed some sympathy for Harry due to his difficult childhood with his mother. In this case, I decided to give him a pass because I believe there were mitigating factors. After finishing the series this week, I realized what a dummy I was. Above all else, I feel like a pawn in a game that was played against me. It looks like the people, the media, and the palace have all been duped because it's abundantly clear that Harry is not a fragile, traumatized, but fundamentally good-hearted individual, and because it appears from the available footage that Harry and Meghan planned all of this from the get-go. Start with Harry. Don't fall for the cute videos of him snuggling the dog or making silly faces on vacation. What we see of the real Harry in the documentary paints a picture of a rather unpleasant human being. Overconfident, resentful, and vindictive, the type of person who presents themselves as carefree and easygoing and everyone's buddy, but is capable of great acts of spite when crossed. This documentary sheds disturbing light on those realities. What this must be doing to the King and the Prince of Wales and to everyone else's psyche is something I can only try to fathom. I doubt Harry and Meghan give a hoot, though. They obviously view everyone who doesn't agree with them or worship them as savior saints as their enemy. Knowing this, however, is helpful because now we know what the royal family is up against and why their attempt to appease these two spoiled brats have always backfired. What Harry has said about the famous Sandringham summit, where he met with his family to try to negotiate a smooth exit from public life, is the clearest evidence of the lengths to which he's prepared to wound anyone who crosses him. When William yelled at Charles and King Charles lied, and the Queen quietly sat there and took it all in, that's when things got interesting. Yes, I'm sure the poor lady was. For sure, she was wondering what had become of her once lovable grandson. When you drive someone to the brink of insanity with your nonsense about being bullied and sidelined, they are bound to snap. As William discovered when his brother started yelling and screaming at him. If you falsely accuse someone of racism, they are likely to become even more enraged. Also, I challenge you to think of any set of siblings who haven't taken turns verbally and physically abusing one another. My two kids, they're always doing that. To accuse the late Queen, who tried her hardest to make Harry and Meghan feel loved, even after the disastrous and vindictive Oprah Winfrey interview, is frankly ludicrous. It's bad enough that Harry and Meghan's constant bickering made her final year of life miserable. What a low and vile act to take after she passed away. But the sheer amount of footage we have of the pair of them, is finally what convinced me that I was an idiot for thinking there was any justification for Harry's complaints. From the very beginning, it appears that there was always a camera present. I didn't give it much thought at first. However, when you give it some thought, you realize how strange it is. Who the hell constantly films themselves doing that? Something about it seems a bit too planned, if that makes any sense. Consider Harry's offer. What do you do if you find a man kneeling in front of a circle of candles, holding out a ring in his fist? Apparently, you take a picture. I'm sorry, sweetie. That was beautiful. But if you didn't mind, could you do it again for the gram? Even with everything going on, Meghan still managed to call her pal and exclaim, "Oh my God, Jess, it's happening!" The call was recorded, of course. They were snogging on a swing, dancing in the cottage's entryway, eating chicken, doing the Zoom, crying in the car on the way to the airport, walking some more, baking a cake, kissing by the pool, and sitting on the bed. They did everything from watching their Oprah interview together to FaceTiming Meghan's mom to reading the Queen's Recollections May Vary statement to chatting with their lawyer, friends, and even participating in a guided meditation. Almost every facet of their lives has been documented in some way through film or photography. They even preparing to record themselves in their chicken coop. This is completely out of the ordinary. Honestly, even Kim K is less likely to pose for a photo than the two of them. She even recorded a sex tape. Furthermore, a lot of it occurred before the supposed campaign of hatred and disinformation launched against them. It's as if, from the very beginning, they had a predetermined storyline in mind, and the act of documenting everything served to further their selfish ends. Because Harry and Meghan come across as the epitome of narcissism in this age of narcissism to many of us. They have the arrogance to think that their every sneeze and cough is important, and the ruthlessness to do whatever it takes to make a profit from it. Moreover, they were taken aback after learning Harry's true nature. I don't want to bring Meghan's name up. They need to hang their heads in shame. Why do they cry and complain when they voluntarily give interviews, photos, and videos? They should feel terrible about themselves. This documentary is biased and one sided, making for uneasy viewing because the commentators have no idea what really happened. But in the end, I figured this is their business, and everybody has family dispute. It's just unfortunate that the royal families are displayed out in the public eye. Harry is currently relaxing in his California mansion with his wife and two healthy children, as well as their dogs and chicken. And yet, he has never seemed sadder or more jaded. To me, it's inexplicable that they can't express appreciation for one another, or more importantly, for their children. Raising a child with such a pessimistic outlook is unlikely to be successful. If their children ever publish their own books, it would be poetic justice. The Duke of Windsor set a good example by stepping down from his position, and the Sussexes should follow suit. Then we can stop thinking about him. The royal family made a beautiful showing tonight to show their support for the Prince and the Princess of Wales, and the children all looked so cute. All they've done is make things more difficult to deal with. Making the country split down the middle on the issue of family is wrong. The palace is the ideal place to settle certain issues, as is the case here. It's incredible that so many people have been so stupidly slow to catch on to the truth about these two. How could they have been duped so easily and for so long? Neither the King nor Prince William will waste their time watching it, so they will be unaffected. Don't fret over them. They are likely moving on with their lives and preparing for their annual Christmas celebration. Yes! And you? Have you seen Harry and Meghan's Netflix show? If you have an opinion on them or the royal family, please share it with me in the comment section. Keep in mind to click the like and share buttons and tell your friends about my video if you find it to be entertaining. Also, if you want to make sure you don't miss any future videos, be sure to subscribe to the UK Royal News Trends channel on YouTube. Once again, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back tonight.